Hi everyone, IntuitiveEdge here. Welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So, today we're going to do a bit of rapid fire. I've got 3 topics that I want to touch on, and I've already done some intuitive work on them, and I took notes, and I want to share with you what I got. There's been some things coming up in the news lately, and I just want to touch on these things that have come up. So the first one I want to talk about is John Fetterman. He is a senator that was elected from the great state of Pennsylvania, and he recently came out and had a little bit of a falling out or a disagreement with his political party. And then within a day or so, he and his wife were in a tragic car accident, and they've both been hospitalized. Now, as of this recording, I haven't seen any updates on his or his wife's condition. So I do hope and wish them well. So here's what I wrote. John Fetterman, senator from Pennsylvania. He and his wife were hospitalized following a suspicious car accident just days after coming out, making a statement that he was no longer a progressive Democrat, saying in part, quote, "I did not leave progressivism, it left me." So what happened when I tuned into this intuitively? What I was sensing was a power structure that he was affiliated with. What I saw was John Fetterman partaking, and this was going way back. Intuitively, I saw him partaking of a ritual or an initiation with some type of secret society. And so here's what I wrote on this. We went to great lengths to put you in power. Now, I was sensing this from another entity's perspective. Like somebody was saying this, in essence, saying this to him. We went to great lengths to put you in power. And whoever this person was felt that Fetterman's remarks were disrespectful. And they actually was like, "I'm insulted. You took an oath. We fixed things so you could be where you are." So what I was sensing was that there was some sort of power structure, a brotherhood of sorts, that went to great lengths to help Fetterman get elected. And they could have fixed things. They could have rigged things. But they went to great lengths to make that happen. And for Fetterman to kind of diss on his progressive roots, it's like that was highly insulting after kind of what I heard was, after all we've done for you. The lesson, he's having a lesson in gratitude, and I'm putting gratitude in quotes because it's a really messed up version of gratitude, okay? It's not like the gratitude we think of. This was like, we put you where you are, you aren't being grateful. So here's a lesson in gratitude. You don't get to turn your back on us when we installed you and put you where you are. And that's what I heard. And I heard that they put a lot on the line to put Fetterman in office. I mean, who knows? They could have maybe broken some laws, but I felt like their necks were on the line in installing him. And this just was not going to happen. This was not allowed. I almost feel like anyone who, especially with the Senate, because there's such a delicate balance in the Senate, like if they can't have anybody that might even think of switching parties. And I don't think that Fetterman would switch parties, but to have him come out and say he's no longer a progressive means that maybe he's just seeing things a different way and starting to think differently, and thinking differently is not tolerated with the group that controls the power structure. So that's what I have on that one. Okay. The next one I did, let's see. Let's do the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. This one I find really fascinating. So recently, I'm just going to read through my notes here. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals found that the C19 injections, and we all know what that is, do not fit the definition of a vaccine. So what effect will this have on Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson? Will they lose their protected status and be open up to civil and or criminal prosecution? Now, back in, gosh, when was it? In the 80s, I think it was, vaccine manufacturers gained a protective status so that people were not able to sue them directly for a injury as a result of taking a vaccine. So, as I wrote this out, what I heard as I was writing is House of Cards. And I felt tumbling down. House of Cards tumbling down. When I tuned into this, I saw a strong woman judge. Now, I don't know. Somebody might be able to look this up, or maybe I will after I record this. I don't know if this woman sits on the Ninth Circuit or if this is somebody on the appeals, the lower court. I don't know. But I got a strong woman judge, and she might be connected with that Ninth Circuit. I want to verify that. But anyway, I'll do that later. What I sensed with her was she is not having it. I sensed a sort of a little bit of an anger coming from her. Like, she's on the side of truth and justice, and she really was adamant about the misapplication of the statute and why it got overturned, or why it got the Ninth Circuit, as I understand, found this doesn't fit the definition of a vaccine. We need to send it back to you. So I sense that it will go back for a thorough review. I don't know what the process is now, but it feels like, okay, we're going to send it back. You rethink and rewrite your opinion based on the statute being interpreted this way. So I wrote down, rethink our ruling, and meaning the lower courts, with the revision regarding the misapplication of the statute in place. And then I saw reissue the ruling, and then it was like, oh, something really big is going to come of that. I was getting like August, September, somewhere in there maybe. And there could be a game changer coming up. It's not right now, but when things get rethought or resubmitted or something, it's going to be a game changer. I wrote down, will people be suing Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, and others as a result of the revised ruling? I got a yes. What I sensed is that I saw, like, Pfizer, for instance, putting up a settlement hotline. Like, anyone who wants to sue, anybody who has been injured, contact this hotline. And that hotline will direct you to a team that Pfizer has put together to handle this kind of thing. That this could be a way for them to do some damage control and settle out of court. If you've been injured, call this number. Here's your settlement. I did get that a lot of people will go that route, but there will be others that won't. And there could be a class action lawsuit. I also wrote down, will Pfizer remain solvent? Now, this could go out into years down the future. I mean, this isn't going to like happen overnight, but there could be lawsuits going into the future over this. Will Pfizer remain solvent after all is said and done? I got no. Will Pfizer file for bankruptcy? I got yes. Will any executives at Pfizer go to prison? And I got no. So there's going to be some protections in place somehow. I do feel like there's something else that's going to have to happen in the courts this is not, it's not even not over, but it's barely just begun. And it feels like there's going to be some more things that happen that kind of flesh out how this process is going to unfold. But I do think that there will be people that will get some type of monetary remedy regarding injuries sustained. I feel like Pfizer is going to jump on this and put things in place to do damage control, but they're going to put that out there first, and there will be a lot of people who will respond to that. However, when I intuited what will give better compensation, the Pfizer hotline or the class action, and I get class action will fare better in terms of compensation. The majority of those who file for the vaccine injured and families will use the Pfizer hotline, because I think that's going to come out first and people are going to want to jump on it. But it may not be the most beneficial in terms of the payout. And that's really weird, because usually class action suits, you don't get much. But I feel like that's going to be in the billions. And that could be what ends up making the bankruptcy a thing. Okay, all right, next. So, how about the Judge Merchan, New York? Okay, so a week or so ago, a story broke with a jury member having a cousin who knew the verdict beforehand. And somehow this has been a thing, and a lot of people were going, oh, goody, it's going to get overturned. But Judge Merchan is the one that sent out this information to the team of lawyers. And so a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads going, okay, what's going on here? Was there a juror or a cousin connection? Why did the judge put this story out there? What was he hoping to accomplish? So I didn't get a clear answer to that. So here's what I did. I wrote out this and I did my little tune in, what I normally do. And I actually went someplace else with this. So I'll show you what I got on as I attempted to get this question. Here's what we got. What I saw was the original jury that was overseeing the Trump trial. A juror who is on that jury is an operative. It is a male, and he works for the government. And I heard the word DARPA. I don't know if that's right or not. That could have just been symbolic of being a government operative. But one of the jurors was a Democrat. Maybe it's not Democrat, but a government operative. Okay. This was somebody who is an insider who was in that jury. His job was to sniff out vulnerable people on the jury who might be susceptible to influence. This person is highly trained in human behavior, how to spot vulnerabilities and exploit them. Another male on the jury. So what I was doing when I was intuiting this, I'm feeling like I am that nefarious DARPA guy. Okay, I'm sitting on the jury, and across the table is this man who looks to be in his, I don't know, older guy. I don't know how old, 50s to 70s, somewhere in there. And the DARPA guy sees him as moldable, someone he could influence. Perhaps this guy was starting to kind of put some dots together. And what I felt was anyone capable of critical thought was targeted. This DARPA guy was one of the so-called attorneys. Now, some of you may remember that in the jury pool, it was widely reported that 2 of the members were attorneys. But one of those guys at least was an infiltrator, an insider. And his job was to back up what Judge Merchan said. His job was to make Judge Merchan look credible. And because he was an attorney, to influence the other jurors to not question things when they started to kind of, wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it makes sense, perfect sense, because here's the la la la. That juror was there to influence and show how things made perfect sense. Okay. Gain the jury's trust by making himself out to be the expert lawyer. I'm a lawyer. Of course I know this stuff. Any questions the jury had, this guy was there to back up the judge so the jury would trust and not question the expert. That's what I got on that. All right, everybody. That's what I have for this. Thanks for listening. This is what I get intuitively speaking. So, you know, as with everything, use your own discernment and trust your gut on things. But I just wanted to share with you some things that I got. We'll have to see how things play out and see exactly what shakes down. There could be a lot shaking up in the next couple of years with the Pfizer thing. And I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of the jury insider or the Fetterman car accident. But those are just some food for thought that I thought I'd share. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye. And before you go, if you haven't become a patron yet, hop on over to my Patreon page. I have a lot there that I offer to my patrons, and we have a wonderful growing family group over there. I'd love to have you join me. And there's some open tiers that are left. If you want to join one of the tiers over there, check it out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to have you. All right. Thanks for your support. Bye for now.